This is Danielle, Dr. Comedian Ryer, back for another interview. Today we have Jen James from Crisis Text Line, a suicide prevention hotline. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Danielle. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I am doing really great this fine morning. Thank you.
That's awesome. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to hear about you. Tell us about your background, education, your family, and struggles, and things that have made who you are today.
Well, thanks. I'm actually a suicide attempt survivor. I suffer from bipolar, anxiety, panic, and ADHD, which is a nice, happy cluster of stuff, huh? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from college as a filmmaker, and I eventually started volunteering my time at different nonprofits to give back to the community and wanting to start helping with stopping the stigma of mental health before I actually started my career in crisis intervention. I have my family. They're pretty ridiculously awesome. My husband, Kevin, and I have two boys, Gibby and Xander, and three fantastic dogs who I adore.
They are pretty adorable. I've seen pictures, so I can vouch for that.
I think my dogs
uh,
are my kids.
They're all pretty adorable.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So, you mentioned having various, mental illnesses. So what on a bad day, what do you do to center yourself? And like what do you do to remind yourself, okay, this is not the situation I've been in before?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it is, but how do I cope with it?
I believe everyone has bad days, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those who struggle with mental illnesses tend to have dark days.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still one of them. Even though I would never attempt suicide again, it doesn't mean that I still don't have those thoughts sometimes. It's just part of, what I deal with day to day with the illnesses that I have. And what I found was super helpful, and this has just been within probably the last few years, is I love to work out. I love feeling like putting all my aggressions into the weights or running on, the treadmill or the elliptical. I mean, I'm not the best at it, but I do it and I do the best I can and work the hardest I can because I feel like, I'm getting stronger, not only physically, but also it helps me get stronger mentally and have that refresh that I always often talk about to others is like, you need to refresh your brain, sort of reset it to have a
Mm-hmm.
better day. I also love the Great British Baking Show. I can like totally binge on that. And where I do binge, which is the sanctuary of my bed, it's magical. My bed is magical. And I normally, when I'm in my bed watching Netflix or whatever, I have my three dogs by my side. So that's really what I love to do. Like sometimes, when I'm after work, for what I do, it can be really draining because I'm an empath. And so rest is really important to me
Mm-hmm.
to recharge.
Absolutely. You just need to take like a step away from that sometimes. It's like it's so empowering to be able to help people and it makes you feel good, but it's just like after a while it's just like you're thinking about everybody else's issues and you're relating to it and it's just
Mhm.
so tough, you know what I mean?
I
It's
do.
just like it's both sometimes it can be burning the candle at one end and then there's like expanding the candle at another, but like if you go on too long you'll burn the candle at both ends, so you just need to know and you need to take a break for yourself,
Yeah,
and it sounds like you learned that.
I am. I'm really good about, I've become good, I should say. I wasn't always. I've learned to become more aware of what my body is telling me, as well as, and that means my mind. So I'm really good at taking what I like to say mental health days. So I'll just not even check my work email or anything and just take that full day to recharge.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a good sense of like boundaries between your personal life and your work life.
Yeah.
Um, so like, have you ever struggled with like setting like, like I know you love to help people and you love to, care for them, but like, have you learned a point in your life where, you need to start setting boundaries? Have you ever learned like a lesson where it's just like, this is when I need to do this, and if not, I'm going to like crumble?
Yes, and it's a hard lesson to learn. It really is. When you have, say, a lesson where I really learned is when you have a bad manager who just keeps pushing you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna say where I learned this behavior or when I learned this behavior, but when I finally recognized that I was not getting any opportunity to self-care, I called it out and I said, nope, not doing it anymore. And from that day forward, I was like, nope, I know my limitations now. And it's not easy for others to recognize that until they completely crumble, like you said. But
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I was at that crumbling point, honestly. But I'm so grateful because, like, my husbands and kids, they get it, they understand, and so they recognize it, and they know if I'm in bed, it means I need recharge. And so they reach out and say, Mom, do you want a cup of tea? Or Hun, you want to watch this new show? And they sit with me and they enjoy those moments and give me that recharge that I need. And
Ah.
it's pretty awesome. I'm very blessed with having that and them recognizing that in me. But I think everyone needs to recognize that point in their life before.
Mm-hmm.
um, but sometimes I still struggle with that because I want to, I care for everyone. Like, I care deeply. I feel the feels, as people like to say.
Yeah.
So, like, if somebody's sad, I'm sad along with them. And I'm trying to boost them. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, being an empath, it's like you're just drained by that and you want to help everyone and you want to feel all the feels. And
Yeah.
so there are boundaries that you have to create for yourself in order to really be your best self. So
Mm. Yeah, and it's so great that you have like a support network in your family. Like it's just basically like you can be like, okay, when I have a bad day, I can just count on them and just be like, okay, they're gonna help me, pick up some of my slack, but like tomorrow I'll pick up some of their slack and we'll both have a good laugh about it tomorrow.
yeah, I think it's really helped too, like developing such empathetic children because
Mm.
they see it and they recognize it. And so therefore they spread it in their own lives amongst their friends and stuff. And it also opened the opportunity to have straight talks with my kids. And I'm really, really grateful. I mean, I'm a straight talker regardless. Like, I'm very authentic. uh,
Hmm.
I
We've
guess
seen that.
yeah, I think what was it? One of our coworkers, Darren, our director of international, he coined the phrase for me, genuine, with Jen. And I was like, yep, that's me. So I think it's important. I think it's really helped, like you said, with the support that I have.
Mhm. Mhm. And you seem to be like really good at communicating when you're just like, I'm done. I'm done.
Mhm.
Go away. Leave me alone. I'm shutting off my phone. You know, either mommy, friend, or coworker. I just need timeout. I'll help you later.
Mhm.
And
It
that's good. That's a good.
it
That's
is
good.
good. It is good, and people recognize it too, and they'll like reach out and they're like, I know you're off today, and I'm like, yep, I'm off. I should just be completely off. so like so
Oh yeah.
I appreciate that support too within the the staff at Crisis Text Line. We are a family and we all look out for each other.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's just like we all get like very close, very fast, but it's just like and but we also learn quickly. Some of us just don't have like a personality match, and then we just remain acquaintances, but like we don't like get at each other's throats typically.
Yeah, no,
You
no.
know?
I mean, you have to be empathetic person to work
Right.
to volunteer at the Crisis Text Line. So we all at least have that in common, and
Right.
we can have our differences. We can have, I'm coined the phrase, I'm the inappropriate aunt.
You definitely are, but we love you.
Yeah, at Crisis Text Line. So, and not everyone is comfortable sharing like I do, and that's okay. That is totally okay, and we respect everyone and everything that they do
Hmm.
um, at Crisis Text Line.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was wondering, do you have you mentioned some of your hobbies, I want to know if you have any like goals or dreams in life you want to share. I know that, you're currently, working as a supervisor at a crisis text line. You're working as, a mental health advocate, but like if you could like expand that and, talk more about like broadly about what you want to do and what you will hope you'll do in like 5, 6 years, what do you think it'll be?
Well, it's interesting because earlier this year I started a blog called Empathy Mom.
Mhm.
And if you want to check it out, it's empathymom.com. And it is talks a lot about what we've been already talking about, like being an empathetic human, being a mental health warrior, and really being your authentic self. And so my goals and dreams with this blog and everything that I do is really to help stop that stigma around people who are struggling with mental health. It's okay to talk about suicide and people to recognize that they're not alone. And everybody wants world peace, right? I mean, that's just, oh, world peace, and great, everyone should have world peace, but I would like to aim for um a world peace of mind. I want people to know that they can talk about what's going on and that they're not alone in the world,
Yeah.
that they can really find that support that they need, and also the peace of mind of others, being those who are caregivers and those who know others who may be struggling, and that peace of mind of knowing that you can reach out to them even if you don't have you may not feel comfortable because you don't have the answers, but your ear and just listening is so key. And so that world peace of mind that I'm referring to is just like, just know it's okay to just listen. And then you can offer the supports that may be better for them in resources and referrals. And I
Hmm.
just really think it's like this collective of peace of mind depending on who you are and what's going on in your life. So that's kind of a dream. It may be a big hairy audacious dream, but I still think it's important, and I'll always strive for that.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like you really, really want to like heal the world, and I've seen so much of your trips to go help other people and all that, and you're
Yeah.
just a really, really kind, caring person, and it just shows. You don't even need to say it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's one person at a time, and I like to let people know, just smiling at a stranger can change a day.
Oh yeah.
Just opening the door for someone is so easy, and I've seen it everywhere. Kindness is free, so
Yeah.
just be kind and know that a smile can go a long way. And you don't have to save the world. You're just saving a person, and that alone is insanely awesome.
And you don't even necessarily have to save them. You can set them up to save themselves.
Well, you can set them up to save themselves, or you can see that, it's sort of that pay it forward,
Mhm.
motion that we all want. You can hold a door for someone and say, hey, have a great day, and smile. And then that person's like, that was pretty awesome. I felt really good by doing that. So I
Mm.
think I want to do that for the next person. And it can just be this awesome, effect of that emotion that we want, that drive of just being better and being a better person to ourselves, and being, so holding a door for someone feels really good for me because I know that
Mhm.
if somebody did that for me, it would make me feel good. And so it's just that easy. And that's something that I strive for when I do talks, when I go to conferences and I speak in the communities, and again, just speaking to my kids and their friends, it's something I always strive for.
Yeah. So I also wanted to ask you, how did you get involved in crisis text line? And of course, I work under you as a crisis counselor, but tell the audience a little bit more about like how do you how how do you do what you do as a supervisor? Like, what do you do with your the counselors that you supervise? And can you tell us any news and development at Crisis Test Line?
Sure. Well, I got involved with Crisis Text Line because I was working at a local crisis center in Michigan, and I created their online chat service. And Crisis Text Line invited me to New York before they had launched to sort of brainstorm sessions with other professionals. And even though I don't have a mental health degree, I have street cred. I mean, I'm not like a
Mm-hmm.
thug, but I definitely have street cred. And, and I definitely have knowledge, and that lived experience that is super key. And Nancy saw that drive and passion in me, and she asked me to create the volunteer program, which you're under, for our crisis counselors. And so I did a pilot in 2014 of just volunteers. It was 20 people. I created the training for which has integrated into what it is today. It's super great, sustainable for the amount of volunteers that we have. And I created that. And then we recognized, because before that, crisis centers were taking conversations. And what we recognized within our remote volunteer program is that they were having better quality of conversations because it was consistent within the training. And so we decided to move directly towards remote volunteers. And so my title is the founding supervisor at Crisis Tech Science, since I've been there for since the beginning. And as a supervisor on the platform, we are, the majority of our team definitely has mental health degrees and backgrounds or something similar to that effect. I guess I'm the unicorn in the space there. But again, Nancy saw something. She didn't care about my degree. She cared about my brain and my knowledge. And I feel very fortunate for that.
Yeah.
But as a supervisor, we have volunteers. So right now we have like over 4,000 active crisis counselors. I mean, we've trained over 10,000, probably 12, 13,000. I don't even know the number anymore, but we've trained. And we ask for a 200-hour commitment as your commitment to our volunteer program. Obviously, we hope that people want to stay after. But as supervisors, let me get back to that. As supervisors, we monitor the conversations, and so the volunteers are never alone. As you level up within how many combos you take and such, you get a lot more confidence. And so you don't need your supervisor as much. But as supervisors, we're watching 20, 30, 40 conversations. And those who are first on the platform, I'm like right there. My key thing is I always say I'm lurking, which makes them finally laugh because, I feel like laughter is a big part of self-care within taking these, darker conversations. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to listen to silly music, and it's okay because, if you're too into it, you're not going to be able to get out of it. And for us, we want our volunteers before they log off to make sure they debrief, to make sure that they're okay and have a self-care plan because it can be challenging. So supervisors, though, we're sort of that lifeline while you're on our platform, taking conversations. So I feel like, we have that superpower as that's our superpower.
Yeah, I'll never forget my first shift when you just provided some or one of my first shifts. You came up to me and like you just made me crack up. I was not expecting what you said. We won't tell the audience, but we both know.
Yeah, like I said, going back to that inappropriate aunt, I tend to bring some random things just to make people, like I said, make people laugh. And most people say, I never thought I'd be laughing while taking conversations. My wife is like, what is going on? And we're not laughing at our texters. We're laughing at ourselves. We're laughing at like really inappropriate jokes
Yeah.
and so I feel it's really important. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes we do have, sometimes we do have laughs with textures. I'm sure like about, 50% of my conversations probably have consisted of meme references. Maybe not, but like a good couple of them.
Yeah. Well, it's really about within a conversation, you're really speaking like the texter is. And so if the texter mentions a certain music group, I'll Google it. I'll be like, oh, this group is great, and sort of like ask about it, because that's obviously self-care. And I think that's what's so great about Crisis Text Line is we have that opportunity to engage and really listen, and then the conversation is about them and what they like and empowering them. And I think that's really key.
Mhm. Mhm. So, any like last thoughts you wanted to share at all? And tell me a little bit. Just plug your websites or anything that you want to share.
Sure. I totally forgot though, what's super exciting about some developments at Crisis Text Line. We are international now, which is
Yeah.
so cool. So we launched in Canada and the UK, and they're running super strong. And we just launched just within this month, no, November. In November, we just launched French speaking opportunities in Canada. And so we have a French speaking platform that is up and running. And so with that, that means that we can expand even further with other countries that don't necessarily have English as their,
Mhm.
as a second language. And so that is super exciting. And in 2019, we're like really looking to expand much more with more countries. And so definitely look out for that. That's going to be super cool. Let's see, some of the websites. I'd love for people who are listening to think about volunteering. Volunteering for the Crisis Text Line. It's a great opportunity. You can ask you more.
Yeah, ask me.
And you can find some information on our main website, which is www.crisistextline.org/volunteer. And
Right.
gives you, but the main website itself, crisistextline.org has tons of information as well. So my website for my blog is empathymom.com. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, it's empathy_mom, and Facebook, empathymom.com. And like I said, I talk about being empathetic human, mental health, and being your authentic self. I'm available for talks and conferences if anyone wants to reach out for me that way. And you know what? Randomly, I'm going to plug my son's YouTube channel because he is hilarious. Gibby, it's Goberso _. So it's GOBERSO_. Check him out on YouTube because you'll get a really funny kid. He's just turned 12, but he's been doing this for a few years, and you'll see his amazing skills as an editor and as just a witty child.
Yeah, so this has been Jen James from Crisis Text Line. She's a supervisor. She's an advocate, and all around awesome person to talk to. Thank you so much, Jen, for joining us. And you can also, if you are interested in being recorded, you can go to www.drcomedian.com/interviews. And I'd love to hear from you or anybody else who might be interested. Thank you, and have an awesome week. Listen to The Best Medicine from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Mondays on 91.5 WDBK. Available on the dial within a 10-mile radius of Blackwood, New Jersey, or through the TuneIn app.